Doncaster, South Yorkshire. Officers from the Yorkshire and the Humber Regional Roads Crime Team have stopped a car in a drugs hotspot.
I'm PC Sanderson, it's PC from Regional Roads Crime Team. Everything you say and do is being video recorded.
We've been informed there's a vehicle in this area linked to drug dealing. Looking into the vehicle in the centre console, you could see there was quite a large amount of cash in the vehicle, which pricks your ears up, makes you start wondering why is this amount of cash in.
Lads, just listening. All right, how much money's there? Sorry? Right. Just to let you know, this is a hotspot for drug dealing.
And you can see from the headcam footage that the passenger is very, very nervous.
Just want to jump out first. Got anything in your pockets? Just stand over it.
The information what we've got is that the lad in the passenger seat is a known drug user.
Guys, just to be aware, the passenger is currently on licence for burglary and drugs offences. If he gets caught with anything, he's going to be going back to prison, so he ain't got out to lose.
It ups the ante. If there are drugs in the vehicle, then he doesn't want to get arrested for it, because potentially he's going to go back to prison.
More than a quarter of offenders commit at least 2 or more crimes within a year of release from jail.
Once we've got him out of the vehicle, I've checked the glove box, I've checked the footwell, and then I've checked down the side of the seat, and that's where I've pulled the small package out. I suspected it to be a Class A controlled drug.
Put your hands up, fella.
Right, you're both under arrest for possession of the Class A controlled drugs.
Jump out for us and we'll give you a quick search.
At the police station, no further action was taken against the driver. On the passenger, the cops found 8 deals of heroin and he was sent to jail for 18 months. Since the Regional Roads Crime Team was set up in 2008, drug seizures in Yorkshire and Humberside have risen by nearly a quarter to more than 16,000 last year.
Predominantly the people we target are into drug supply, drug use. It blights people's lives.
Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, 7:30 p.m. PC's Matt Fleming and Wayne Sanderson are in one of the team's unmarked cars.
Bit of a slow day in Huddersfield, just scouting about really. Your average street, Huddersfield town centre, and just happened to look right, to be honest. Immediately stood out this BMW.
The in-car computer is linked directly to the police national database, which holds intelligence on cars and their owners.
Attention. It's even got a marker on it. There was police information on the vehicle, linking it to drugs and drug supply. As soon as we got behind the car, very strong smell of cannabis. I see sensors starting to get a little bit heightened, trying to see who's in the vehicle.
You got some power if he goes.
A vehicle like this is one that could cause us some problems if it did fail to stop. It's a high-performance vehicle.
Guys, is there anybody Huddersfield town centre? There's a drugs marker, smell of cannabis. It's likely to fail to stop. Is there anyone nearby, please?
We do work best as a pack, so try to get obviously units towards us, just in case it did fail to stop. Just looking to get it stopped as soon as possible. I had that gut feeling the vehicle was going to go.
Right, get
Ready?
ready.
Yeah. He's had plenty of time to know that we were there. You know, there's a car behind him, blue light, sirens on.
Guys, this is now a fail to stop.
Surprisingly, it did come to a stop within a fairly short distance. Obviously, position the car in front of it to reduce that risk of it continuing on its way.
Open the door! Open the door! Right, turn the engine.
Scared me, man.
Scared you?
When he's opened the door, I was quite shocked to see there was a 2-year-old girl actually sat in the front passenger seat. You're thinking, you know, you're driving like that. You've got your 2-year-old daughter in the car and you're driving like a complete and utter idiot.
Smell cannabis from the vehicle. Is it any drugs on you?
With the child in the passenger seat, the cops proceed with caution.
Are you known to us at all, pal?
Yeah, I am, yeah. Pardon?
What are you known to us for?
All sorts.
All sorts.
Yeah.
Recent?
Recent, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. What, days, weeks, months, years?
I've just got off. Just got a suspended sentence.
Right. What was the offence? Drugs?
Yeah.
Cannabis?
Cannabis, yeah.
Right. So there's a smell in the car.
Yeah,
So if there's a bag or like that, then obviously
car,
be telling us now.
God.
All right. It
Scared?
smells of cannabis in the car.
Okay.
So if there's
How much is here?
The man has £325 on him.
We've got him on suspicion of money laundering, possession of criminal property. End of the day, it's only £300, but it's the fact he's got £300 he can't really account for, and also the little bit of intelligence we already hold on this particular person. It's the whole package that led me to make the arrest.
You want it here or taking him in?
they're coming to us, so we'll take him back.
You're going to take me back where?
More than likely the police station, mate, but
What for?
for a strip search. I can't strip here.
Can't do that. He doesn't want to go back to the police station for a strip search. And again, he's pleading with us. You know, he'll say, I'll strip off at the side of the road. We can't do that. We can't allow people to get undressed at the side of the road.
Backup has arrived to look after the suspect's child.
Obviously, you've got your little one here. Obviously, we're going to make sure she's safe and well. She's going to stay in car with an officer. Officer will drive this. We'll all go down to the police station. We'll search you. If that's negative, then obviously we'll go from there. At the end of the day, mate, she's not got a child seat in this car, which is obviously an offence. We've not got child seats in our car, so we're going to have to deal with it the easiest way we can. The car's not been searched at all yet.
That's what you said.
He was placed in the handcuffs and taken in for the search at the police station.
Hello? Daddy's in the other car behind us.
Unfortunately, she will have to come with us as well. We can't let anybody know that he's been stopped and that he's going to be searched. If we contact somebody and say, well, can you come and pick his daughter up, they could get rid of property, such as drugs, cash or mobile phones.
While his child is looked after by other officers, Matt and Wayne want to search the man.
You're always hoping to find something, and you know, if we do, that gives us the next step to actually go on and do house searches and get into these people's properties, get into their lifestyle and see how they live.
He will remain in custody while the cops continue their investigation. "15 miles north in Bradford, 9:30 p.m. PC's Paul Feather and Lee Wellborn from the West Yorkshire Police Road Crime Team are patrolling a crime hotspot.
So we're down Harrogate Road in Bradford. Get a lot of stolen vehicles coming through this area, so it's a good place to go have a hunt about.
Outside London, Yorkshire has one of the highest rates of car crime in the UK. In 2012, there were more than 4,000 cars reported stolen in the West Yorkshire area.
Ford Focus had entered the roundabout a little bit quickly. As we looked across, the driver didn't really want to pay much attention to us because we were in the marked police vehicle. And I always find that a little bit suspicious when people don't look at you.
Ain't nothing about, is it?
Initially, there was no reason to suspect that it wouldn't pull over, and we just went for a routine stop. But it's continued, and then it started to accelerate away, and it's all started from that.
Got a silver Focus, plus we're making off on Moorside Road, Fagley.
He's already sort of driving dangerously into him. The pursuit's only been running a matter of seconds, so it's quite clear he wants to get away.
Silver Focus. It's on a right. Throw some drugs out. Yes. Now Pollard Lane. It's just discarded some packages in the road. Pollard Lane.
He's a desperate man to get away from the police for whatever reason, and the reason we believed is that he'd thrown out some drugs.
Road. Speed 60 miles an hour. Traffic still light.
The risks of chasing offenders are high, An average of 5 accidents a day occur during police pursuits.
It's a constant assessment made by me as a driver and also my colleague who's giving the commentary. So if it gets to a point where we think it's dangerous, then we abort the pursuit, because it's not worth putting ourselves, the suspects or anybody else at risk.
Approaching junction, stand by. Through red lights, stand by.
I mean, they're not bothered, are they? They're just wanting to get away from us.
Travelling at 60 miles an hour on busy roads, the cops have to be alert to sudden dangers.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That car driver's pulled out unaware of what's happening. I think Paul's done well to avoid a collision.
Approaching a junction, stand by. It's gone straight across, straight across. Norman Avenue. Speed 60 miles per hour.
Even though we're not sort of directly behind him, he's still on the intention he's getting away, and that's where they make the mistakes.
Well, it's crashed.
Vehicle's crashed.
Your first thoughts are that somebody's seriously hurt, maybe even worse.
The driver is trapped inside his car.
And to watch it flip up in the air and then flip over on its roof is quite, well, it's not the nicest thing to see.
Charlie 41, suspect vehicle has crashed. It's on its roof. Can we have fire service and ambulance, please? Norman Avenue.
Yeah, well, keep your legs still.
Although he's turned his car upside down, the driver isn't badly hurt. His seatbelt has saved him from more serious injuries.
Hang on, you're all right.
I've got blood leaking out.
Yeah, but you're talking, so you're all right, aren't you?
He's trapped in his seatbelt, and obviously we want to get him out of the vehicle. Reason being, some cars do set on fire.
It only takes a minute to safely get him out of the car.
We've got a walking wounded male driver who's failed to stop, but we'll need supervision just to attend the scene.
Where you're injured, lift your face.
Lift your head up.
I think we're only one in it from first look.
Sit down. Let me have a look at your nose.
He's hit his face, more than likely when airbags deployed. Obviously he's given it a good old crack.
Just lift it back a bit. Yeah, you've got a bit of a bust nose, haven't you?
Luckily this time, there are no life-threatening injuries. So Paul begins to question him.
Was it your car?
It's not like
Your wife's car? He did his best, didn't he? But his best wasn't good enough. That's the difference between us and him. We're a bit more safer, and obviously we're trained to a level where we should be able to drive, fingers crossed.
Yeah. This is one of life's valuable lessons you've just learned.
The car isn't stolen, so for Paul and Lee, the question now is why was he so desperate to get away? In Huddersfield, the search of the man arrested with his child has revealed no drugs on him or in the car.
I honestly thought we'd go into that cell and something would drop to the floor and we'd have our arrest, straight and simple. I was faced with a bit of a judgment call, really. Do I potentially go a little bit further?
You've been arrested so we can speak to you, so have a seat.
His arrest means the cops can keep him detained and search any properties linked to him.
We can make an arrest on suspicion of money laundering, on suspicion of drug dealing. Did some research and found several addresses that this guy was linked to. Whilst we're in the holding area, colleagues are making inquiries in relation to connected addresses.
2 miles away, a search team arrive at a house linked to him, an address where he's registered on the electoral roll. The team is wearing headcams. Behind the door, they make a remarkable discovery.
The headcams are useful. What's potentially hard to say in words is easily put across in a very short amount of time in video.
there are up to 70 cannabis plants. Police estimate a farm on this scale can generate an annual turnover of up to £100,000. It's a sophisticated setup using some high-powered lighting and air conditioning.
There was definitely a smile hearing on the earpiece that a cannabis factory had been found.
Downstairs, the cops have detained a man living at the address.
Everything that you say and do is being recorded. I've got a power under Section 18 of Police and Criminal Evidence Act to search your premises.
I know you are.
Okay? For a gentleman that's been locked up.
The lad hangs around across the road.
So, he's on the electoral roll as being registered at this address. So it gives us the power to obviously search this premises. Okay. I'm going to arrest you on suspicion of production of cannabis. Alright. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned something which will later align in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand everything that I've said to you there? Marvellous.
It becomes clear that the man they have at the police station no longer lives there and has nothing to do with the cannabis farm.
Well, so many people are going to get hurt through something that's never harmed anyone. Kids, adults, children alike. Police wasting money on it really doesn't matter. When there's paedophiles, murderers and rapists out there and you come and arrest the flower-growing hippie.
Ultimately, you know, what can he say? It's in his house, it's in his bedroom, you know, it's in his downstairs hallway or under his stairs, so there's not a lot he can say really, is there? Other than, yeah, it's mine.
Homegrown cannabis production has more than doubled in the last 5 years.
Put your belt on.
In 2012, nearly 8,000 cannabis farms were found by police.
It's more organised than it was before, by either using intimidation tactics or by paying people to make use of space in terrace houses. It's going to make it difficult for us to find.
Cannabis cultivation on this scale can carry a prison sentence of up to 7 years. Back at the police station, because there is no evidence against him, the man arrested earlier with his child is free to go. And they've arranged for his daughter to be dropped home.
At the end of the day, we've got a duty of care to her, but we've also got a duty to detect and investigate crime, so it's balancing that.
You okay?
Annie Meanwell. But again, bearing in mind that he's a 2-year-old kid and we need to do something with her and keep her safe as a priority.
It's PC Fleming from West Yorkshire Police. Nothing to worry about at all.
So we've made several calls to try and get the 2-year-old back to her mum.
Is that your mummy?
But when we did manage to track mum down, it was quite an emotional reunion, really.
Oh, there we go, big girl.
Bit of a shock, yes. Honestly,
She's fine.
She's had a McDonald's and she's obviously safe and well.
You know you've got a job to do at the end of the day, and unfortunately, there's a child involved in this instance.
Nothing's happened to her this evening. She's not been involved in any way.
She was never put in any danger or exposed to anything what she shouldn't have been exposed to.
With the child reunited with her mother and her father released without charge, Matt and Wayne can begin to help with a new investigation, the search of the cannabis farm.
You got any gloves? Have you got any gloves? In fact, I've got some. Could have been any house, anywhere. Certainly no smell of cannabis. As you walked through that front door, I honestly thought we'd got the wrong house.
Can't get down.
Nice one. This was utter elation, to be honest. We've got at least, say, 50, 70 plants in the late stages of growth, sat in a bedroom in the average house. It's bunting on the fencing outside. It's nondescript terrace house, and the inside is a drugs factory. It's a cracking result, and hopefully has a significant impact on that area.
In another room, there's evidence that he could be selling it.
Some more cannabis. Obviously there's the grow upstairs, but this looks like what is harvested, and it's all individual bagged up, ready to go. Evidence of his scales to weigh it out, and more clear plastic bags to put it in.
I think when I first joined, you expect to fix the world in a day, if I'm honest, and you think you go out there, everything can be sorted, and you can go home happy. In reality, it doesn't work like that. It's almost keeping a lid on what's out there, which is what I'm here to do.
A closer inspection of some of the bags at the police station reveals further proof the suspect is dealing drugs in the area.
Obviously, when we've done the house search, what we've got is a black carry bag from the kitchen. In that, it's got a large bag containing cannabis buds. There's quite a lot in there. We've got a set of scales. We've got some dealer bags. We've also got some resin, as you can see, which is not very often you get hold of the resin these days. We've also got these are basically the ends of rubber gloves. They cut the fingers off and they've sealed them up in there so they can either swallow them or put them in other orifices of the body. Fantastic job, really, to be fair.
In Bradford, the driver who failed to stop and then crashed his wife's car
It's crashed.
is going to hospital as a precaution.
You know, people get thrown from vehicles, and that occurs when people don't wear the seatbelts, but whether you can say to his credit he had his seatbelt on, then that's probably what saved him having more serious injuries that he could have sustained if not been killed.
That's the line of trajectory. It's come straight over here. Nose dived in and flipped him over onto the roof. Been lucky man.
Although he's off to hospital, it will be under police supervision.
Can I just tell him before you do your stuff? You're going to be under arrest. One for failing to stop at police and dangerous driving. And you're under caution that you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence.
He did learn a valuable lesson from that. Sure, when he went out in the vehicle, he wasn't expecting to be involved in that sort of incident and end up in hospital and then in the cells.
Before he goes, the cops want to run one last check.
Hiya. Before you disappear, is he in a fit to do a breathalyser?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Feather, if you get it, he's all right to do it.
You can?
Yeah.
If we don't do this sort of thing at the roadside, then obviously we have to go through a different procedure at the hospital where we have to take blood. So it's always handy if we can actually get permission.
Make a nice seal around there, good deep breath and just blow down that tube till I tell it to stop. Harder. Keep going. That'll do. 0.
He managed to pass that with flying colours.
Cheers, mate, thanks.
Any sort of incident involving a pursuit where there's a collision, somebody's injured, it's classed as a police injury collision. Therefore, usually a supervisor will attend the scene.
How old are you, Paul?
44.
Just Paul,
Yeah.
21.
Everybody gets breathalyzed, me included. Pass.
0.
It's standard procedures, just to say been breathalyzed and there's no issues.
Chasing criminals in cars is often risky. 25 deaths occurred during police pursuits in 2012.
I'd say that's a total write-off by the look of that. I think we've done some, I think Lee's run it through and it's coming back no insurance on it as well, so doesn't help these people here who've had the wall damage and the car damage as a result of his driving, plus council for lamppost, so it's going to be getting some sort of big bill into.
The driver will be prosecuted for dangerous driving and no insurance. But Paul and Lee also want to find the bags they think he threw from the car.
Looking at video, it were right in Mountford Junction. You can see it fly out, and I think with weather, either somebody will have picked it up or cars driving all over it will have destroyed it, but we're making our way sort of at that direction, so we'll have a look as well.
We've driven back up to the location where we saw the drugs get thrown out of the car. We did ask another unit to check straight away, but they couldn't find them. But because we knew exactly where we'd seen the packages being thrown out, we've driven back up just to have a look.
He did admit ejecting the drugs out of the window. He claimed it were Class B drugs, i.e. cannabis. can't find that, so we'll just go with what we've got. If somebody had seen those items in the road, they've either driven over them and it's disappeared, or they've picked them up and never to be seen again.
With no sign of the packages, Paul and Lee reflect on the night's high-speed pursuit.
You don't come to work to see people get injured or hurt. We're not robots, are we? We're human beings, and we have feelings and so on. You know, I'd be sort of devastated that as a result of whatever, somebody had been killed.
Would you feel responsible? I don't know if I'd feel responsible, because we haven't made him do that, have we?
And no, I'd be angry that had happened. But, you know, I'm not in charge of his destiny. I'm in charge of mine and everybody else's in this car. If he wants to drive like a maniac, then it's my decision whether I continue that pursuit.
90 miles east of Bradford, Matt and Wayne are on the northeast Lincolnshire coast in Grimsby.
We cover a massive area across the Yorkshire and Humber region. On an increasing number of occasions now, we're extending beyond those boundaries. We're not restricted by lines on a map.
There's a report of an armed burglary.
Observations, please. It's just been responsible for threatening a female with a knife. Still thought to have had the knife on him.
We'd forced entry into a property once inside. He'd taken a number of knives, including a large meat cleaver. There was then threats to the victim in relation to calling the police or contacting us. After making threats to her, he'd left the property, made off on foot. We're told he had knives still on his person.
Number 743 for any sightings of being passed at 2243 XYM. Left approximately 5 minutes ago, last seen heading towards Winchester Avenue.
Matt worked this area in his first 2 years of service and knows the suspect.
Yeah, it's certainly someone I'd come across many times. One of the priority offenders in the area, responsible for burglaries, serious acquisitive crime, so it's certainly a name that I was familiar with. That might be him. What's his picture? I think that might be him, mate.
With the head cam running, Matt gives chase.
X-ray Tango 18, we've got running in Chelmsford Avenue. Guys, we've got runners Chelmsford Avenue.
And at this point, as soon as we got into the garden, pitch black, completely lost him.
180, total loss in gardens, Chelmsford Avenue. Bearing in mind that this guy's got meat cleavers, got knives on his person, last thing I want to do is encounter him with just a can of CS. The best thing I knew to do was just step back and watch. He wasn't going away from me, all he could do is come towards. We just get a containment on where we are. 6-7 foot fencing, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the gardens.
Directed officers to the containment and got that complete block of houses surrounded.
Right, he's been on the other side and he's run through the gardens.
You've no idea what's going through this guy's head, especially with a serious offence of armed burglary. He's potentially looking at a prison sentence.
Other side.
The cops believe the suspect is still in the area and armed.
I was just confident at that point that he was still somewhere in those gardens.
"2 a.m. and 80 miles west of Grimsby in Leeds, PC's Richard Whitley and Les Green are on night patrol.
We often get paired up on nights together. We're in a little area just outside Leeds called Yeadon. Any car that we see moving at that time of night is certainly worth a check to make sure they're not drunk, it's not stolen, they're not active burglars out and about looking for houses to turn over.
Just past a junction and seen this vehicle. It's taken a long time to pull out after we've driven past. It is a high crime area and we're wondering at this moment why the vehicle took so long to pull out.
A long time coming out.
and we're just following it now, looking for a suitable place to stop it, to see if the vehicle will stop and see why the driver took so long coming out of the junction.
Okay. Oh, got another word.
Black. Go to Fabian.
Hey, mate. Sorry?
Insurance is
Sorry.
held for
Sorry about that. You home? Yes. Right, no worries. Just want to come and have a seat back about?
Yes.
2 minutes. Where have you just come from?
I've just dropped my friend home at horse.
As soon as you get out of the car, I could smell it had a drink.
All right. You had a drink at all?
There is a link, yes.
Have you had a drink tonight?
Yeah, I've just asked him his old one.
Just the one he's offered a stock response. As soon as he got into the vehicle, you could smell it.
Okay, how long ago was your last drink?
An hour and a half.
Okay, all we'll do is just do a quick breath test on you while my colleague's doing a check on you. Just have you ever done a breath test before?
Never. Sorry about this.
Okay, lean forward. I'll keep hold of the machine. You put your lips on it and blow. Keep going. Now, blow. Keep going. No. Right, get off. Stop. Right. It says blow fairly because you're not blowing hard enough. We see all sorts. We see people filling their mouth full of air as if they're trying to kid the machine, not putting enough pressure into it to get it going. It's not hard to do. It's like the pressure of a balloon. Before you do it, take a deep breath.
Right.
Put your lips on the tube and blow nice and steadily until I tell you to stop.
Last chance, are you locked up for refusal?
Go. Keep going. Stop. I'm telling you now. Okay, you are over. You've failed the roadside breath test. Okay, so at the minute, and I'm going to caution you, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely in court. You do say may be given evidence. You're under arrest on suspicion of driving a motor vehicle on a road whilst over the prescribed limit. Okay? He's a little bit over the legal limit, being 35 micrograms of alcohol in 100 millilitres of breath. The young chap's blown 55. So he's been arrested by myself, and we'll take him to Pudsey Police Station to do the formal evidential procedure.
Recent figures show that drivers aged between 20 and 24 failed more breath tests than any other group.
Drink driving, it kills people. The worst job that we have to do as traffic officers is to knock on someone's door and give them the news at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning that colleagues are dealing with a fatal accident. It's just not worth it. I think he's realised how silly he's been. He said that he'd come from Horsforth, which from there to Horsforth is about 3 miles. It's about £5 in a taxi.
Hi, Dad. I'm in the back of a police car.
Switch your mobile phone off.
I just parked outside
Switch
the
your
house.
mobile phone off.
They told me to
Switch
switch
your
my
mobile phone off.
Okay, sorry.
Now.
It's not an abuse of power or anything like that.
Give the phone.
It's alright, it's gone.
Give the phone now.
Okay, good.
We've no idea who he is. We don't know what he does. We don't know who he's ringing or who he could be texting, so we want the mobile phone off him.
Thank you. Where's the case? Please put it in the case. I was letting my dad know because he's expecting me home.
You're in custody. We'll let your dad know.
Okay.
Well, I think his world's fallen apart, hasn't it? He's obviously concerned what his dad's going to be thinking, why he isn't home, perhaps, and he's just wishing that he perhaps should have got a taxi.
In Grimsby, the young man who threatened a woman with a knife is still on the run.
X-ray Tango 18, we've got running. Certainly the upper tiers of the crimes we've come across. It's a serious crime, having your home broken into and then having that confrontation with whoever is going to be an ordeal for anybody.
The evidence-catching headcams show just what the cops themselves are seeing.
You what, sorry, mate? Do you know which one, mate? Might be what we're looking for. Someone's approached me, just pointing out a bit of suspicious activity. He suspected something had been thrown into the gardens.
Matt makes a discovery.
Yeah, I've tracked back from where I've initially sighted Mr. recovered from the garden of a carrier bag containing a meat cleaver with a red handle and a second smaller kitchen knife along with cloven over.
The weapons are an important find, but there's still no sign of the suspect.
First sighted him, he's obviously ditched his knives and that here. Last sighting was just at the back of that one on the corner, mate. This garden hopping across the road, mate, back of there.
Just trying to get as many officers as possible into the right places.
Just back of this one, mate, it was generally that way, but all these fences seem to have quite high fences. He's gonna have to go. Potentially so, yeah.
There was a perfect wall around him. He'd ran into a dead end, in effect.
Corner the back of there, mate, it's about 10 gone in.
We've asked for taser trained officers to attend, and whilst they're travelling, this guy has come out of hiding.
Got him detained.
Into the path of officers waiting.
The mate got next to me, he was telling me to stop, he was telling me to stop.
My previous experience of him was antisocial crime, causing a nuisance to people on the street. Certainly that's a far cry from burglary. In fact, he's potentially threatened somebody with a knife, left on foot with knives in his possession. It seems to have escalated somewhat from what I know of him. Clearly something's gone wrong with him.
The teenage suspect has convictions for more than 50 offences.
Where I've initially sighted him in the gardens of where I've first seen him before we turned round, this carrier bag containing the meat cleaver and the kitchen knives. See what's been described, so they've been seized.
For me, any offence where you're entering into somebody's home, especially more so where you're using weapons to make threats, it's a serious offence that's going to cause serious repercussions for all those involved.
Back in Leeds, the young man who blew over the drink-drive limit just outside his house has arrived at the police station to undertake an evidential breath test.
He's now realising just what it's like to be under arrest. He's had his liberty taken away, he's had his mobile phone taken away, he's now feeling quite helpless and doesn't really know what to do with himself.
Any property, can you just empty it out of your pockets and put it on here? Any money, change, jewellery, watches, belts, that sort of stuff.
Because he's blown over, we now bring him and we put him on a much bigger machine that is a little bit more accurate than the handheld one. And that will give us the evidential breath that we will either release or charge him with. Learning curve for him, and it's going to be a sharp one, because if he's still over, he's going to lose his driving licence for a minimum of 12 months.
Keep going, 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 keep going. Stop. Okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going, going, keep going, keep going. Okay, sit down. We're in the hands of the gods once he's blown into the machine, and 1 microgram over, he's over. 34, 36. It's come down a lot.
One lucky young man.
One lucky young man. You're under the legal drink drive limit.
The limit's 35, you've blown 34 and 36. We go on the lower limit, which is 34.
In my 11 years, I've not seen anybody break down in tears from it, but obviously it means a lot to him. And he's been a lucky lad. I think he's a happy chap.
I think that says it all.
OK, there's 3 printouts here. One that you can keep, you can frame, because tonight was your lucky night. The second one is mine, and the third one is the sergeant's, OK? Just need 3 signatures, they're all identical. He'll hopefully take home his printout and frame it and look at it every time he goes out and think, is it worth it for a £5 taxi fare? And hopefully it's a lesson learned. Come on.
As he's blown under the limit, no action will be taken against him.
I made a bad judgment of error in getting in my car again. But at the same time, by the time you get outside of your house, you're more angry at the fact that you just missed the chance of getting home free. Yeah, I think I can describe that very last metre in your car and then getting pulled over.
Wasn't served, so went back out and slept in his car.
Jumping back. On this side.
On the side. Checks that we've carried out have shown that the car is registered to an address that's not too far away from there. So both Dan and I are a little confused as to why he's stopped where he's stopped.
So why have you ended up here?
Because, well, I went home to fall out with my mum and dad.
Right.
And come back here. I had nowhere to go.
Right. Now, how have you got here?
I can't remember, but I come here and just drove here and then just parked it there and then got my head down.
So you've been out in Wetherby, out on a night out, drove back here, fallen asleep in your car, and that's it. You haven't had what else to drink since you've been parked up here?
Since I've come here, nothing at all.
Right. He's told us by his own admission that he's had a few drinks with his friends, driven from the nearby town and stopped there. So, you know, we have a power to give a breath test.
Right. Just lean forwards, good deep breath, just blow into the tube for me. Keep blowing till I tell you to stop. Keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing, keep blowing. Stop. Brilliant, there we go.
I say that because I couldn't stand in court because I was accepting a charge and I've been asleep for the last 5 hours.
It's a common misconception. People go out, have a load to drink, go home, go to bed, 6-7 hours sleep, wake up, and they think they're sober because I've had a night's sleep, I'm fine. Right, you see the red lights come on?
Yeah, no, mate, I could have told you.
Yeah. That means you've provided a positive sample of breath.
Yeah, no.
So at this minute in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of drink driving. All right. Yeah. He's blown twice the limit. That is at least 5 or 6 hours since he's driven. So the worrying thing is exactly how far over the limit he was when he actually did drive and park up.
Look, if you're going to arrest me, mate, is there just like another cigarette before I go into custody, please?
You can't, because you're under arrest now.
I've already given you a breath sample. Failed it, mate, come on.
The unfortunate thing for us is, if we allow him out at car to have a cigarette, we've then got to try and control him and make sure he doesn't run off, or he's effectively got a weapon in his hand with a burning cigarette.
Can you at least get me cigs and stuff out of my car before you take me away, so I've got something?
We'll put your cigs up so at least you've got them for when you get out.
When he gets released from custody, he's obviously going to want a cigarette then. You can't smoke in the custody areas anymore.
Oh, yes there is. But there's no lighter in there. Something else though, that he might want to explain. Just getting his cigarettes and lighter for him. He's got some small amount of cannabis that's in the middle as well, so he'd be getting locked up for that and dealt with for everything all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he said to Dan at any point, can you get me my lighter, it's next to cannabis.
I've got your phone, got your money, got your cigarettes, and my mate's just going to tell you about this. I've just found that in centre console, so do you want to go 1 and 2 with that as well? And then?
Yeah, right, obviously you're under arrest on suspicion of a controlled drug as well.
Sort of makes you smile a bit, doesn't it, really, that the cannabis side of it, the drink driving side of it doesn't.
Your boss man's ringing you.
Oh, I'm meant to be working.
Do you want to speak to him or shall we just leave it?
You want to speak to him after you've done
you better speak to him, but don't tell him I've been nicked for drink driving.
I believe it works with some quite heavy machinery. So another part of this is the worrying side that he was going to go to work. It's not a good mix.
It's my own fault, and I've learned from my mistakes. Don't go out, have a few beers and drive.
There you go, you see.
West Yorkshire is one of the worst areas in the country for motor insurance offences. In 2012, more than 3,500 motorists were prosecuted here for driving without cover. At their base in Manningham, PC's Simon Ellis and Dick Infield are planning to question a motorist they believe may be going one step further and using a counterfeit insurance policy.
So this is the guy we're going to arrest. There could always be an occasion where someone's done something quite innocently and not realised and been duped. It's like anything else. It's a scam. He was found to be uninsured. He's been summoned to attend court, which he has done, and he's produced a false insurance policy to the court.
Recent figures show there could be as many as 20,000 motorists driving in the UK uninsured after buying fraudulent or fake cover.
We've written to the insurance company and they've quite comprehensively told us that the policy doesn't exist.
The question for the cops is, did he know it was a false policy?
This is getting to become quite common now. People try and evade the points and the fines for having no insurance. But if we don't stamp it out, then obviously it will be something that spreads quite vehemently around, certainly our area in Bradford, where we have a high number of people and vehicles that are uninsured. He may get a shock when we knock at his door.
Across the UK, police seize more than 2,500 uninsured vehicles a week. But still there are 130 deaths and more than 26,000 injuries caused by uninsured drivers every year.
I think we all have our little forte. I think mine is probably insurance, and I stick to what I'm good at, really. I think it's a bit of a catch-22, really. The more people that are uninsured, the more other people's premiums go up, so the more they can't afford insurance, and it's just this vicious circle.
Uninsured drivers add on average an extra £30 to insurance premiums each year.
That's the car.
So there's the car outside which Dick stopped this guy driving in back in August last year. So hopefully from that he might be in. Yeah, mate.
Yo.
Excuse me, let's have a quick word, Dick. It was brilliant to see him there because we didn't think he was going to be in, and very rarely do we pull up outside someone's house and they happen to be there.
Right, you've produced some insurance certificates at court from when I stopped you driving last August.
Right.
Okay, those insurance certificates are fraud.
Can't be fraud.
So what I need to do is I need to take you down to the police station and discuss on interview the validity of those insurance certificates.
Can't you do it here?
Okay, I've got to take you down to the police station. So I'll tell you now then that you're under arrest on suspicion of perverting the course of justice. Stack you like that.
It's a serious offence and we need to be able to prove certain factors. We need to be able to prove that he's attempted to deceive people by producing it. We need to get an account off him.
What is it, fraud of insurance bill? Yeah.
Yep.
If the man has knowingly produced a false policy, he could be facing a prison sentence.
Yeah. Some of these that we've dealt with, they've gone to prison for 4 or 5 months. And that's a big difference between getting some points on a licence or basically having your liberty taken away. I brought your picture with us just to make sure it were you, and thankfully you've kept same top on for us, look. We made it a bit easier. You're quite amenable, you're quite a likeable sort of guy, really. When was the last time you got arrested?
My last raid. That picture what you got there.
Was it a warrant or something?
It was, yeah.
What's happening with that job?
With what job?
What you got arrested for?
The warrant?
Yeah.
The warrant was for a fine for no insurance, who I didn't pay because I was insured at the time. That's what the warrant.
So you got fined for having no insurance, but you didn't pay the fine because you said you were insured?
Yep.
Alright. Well, how did you get convicted if you were insured?
In my absence.
You got convicted in your absence?
Yeah, I didn't know about it till DBLS sent me letters at home saying don't be driving or whatnot.
Come on. You stole that, mate.
There's something aggressive, isn't it?
What?
You're doing it for the camera, yeah?
People are creatures of habit. He's turned up wearing the same top when he was last arrested by the police. The same car's outside his house, now with no insurance and now with no tax on it. So people don't tend to go far from where they're meant to be. We're just interviewing him on tape about the offence. We're giving him his chance to give a reasoned excuse, an account, an explanation for how he's got a forged policy with him. We are investigating an offence of an attempt to pervert the course of justice by the production of a false insurance document at a magistrate's court. Where did you get the documents from?
No comment.
Have you produced these documents to try and deceive the court?
No comment.
I wasn't quite expecting what he told us, or should I say what he didn't tell us. This is a fraud offence. You're at court with driving offences. I will arrange for both cases to be tied up together.
The complicated, all this paper.
Complicated for us, isn't it?
Complicated me, I'm like a professional criminal.
Are you full-time or are you part-time criminal?
I'm a full-time worker now, I'm a retired criminal.
A retired criminal. When did you retire?
When I got out of jail.
Would you?
Is third time, you learn. It's not first, I want the second.
Is there no vacancies for a criminal at the moment?
There's plenty for me, but I just don't want to. I'm happy where I am.
Yeah. He was quite easygoing, and I think there were a lot of tongue-in-cheek things about what he said. And it was nice that we're talking about being a part-time criminal and retired and things. I quite enjoy working with him because if everybody was like him, it made my job a lot easier. He seemed to take it in good spirit as well. You're all right, aren't you? Come on, let's go this way.
I'm innocent, they're trying to prove me guilty, but they've got the wrong end of the stick.
The insurance policy was taken out by a relative.
I was a named driver on it, I didn't pay for it. It was a gift, to be honest. He's in the lift home, no?
We can't, unfortunately.
We've got stop paperwork to sort out, so...
Everybody asks us for a lift home, and I mean everybody. And I think we politely told him something like, we're not a taxi service. I was tempted to give him a lift, even just for comedy value and just for having a chat with him.
Right, fellas.
Because I think he liked to talk, and we learn all sorts from people like that.
You want that?
Paperwork.
I'm hungry.
All right, let's do that.
Cheers, thank you.
You can produce that at court, that's genuine.
See you later.
See you later. Ta-ra now.
The paperwork from the court did get the better of him. He was fined £165 for no insurance. But the charges for producing a false insurance policy were dropped, as the court accepted he had been misled into thinking the policy was genuine. In Leeds, the young man caught sleeping in his car after a night out is about to find out if he's still over the limit.
He's just on phone to his solicitor at minute, getting advice from them. Yep. He'll be placed on the big machine in there. That intoxilizer there, that handheld machine that we use at roadside gives us an indication that he's over limit or whatever. That'll give us a specific reading of what the actual alcohol content in his breath is. Just in here, fella.
Keep blowing, 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 keep stop. Brilliant, there we go. Right, you're gonna grab a seat. So if you blow 40 or above, then you're in the realms of prosecution.
If the reading is over, he faces a minimum 12-month ban.
71 and 69, so you're twice the limit.
He'd been parked up there for a good few hours, and yet it was still blowing double. So what he would have blown when he parked up there, don't know.
Latest figures show that 280 deaths are caused by drink drivers in a year.
I've dealt with a number of quite bad, fatal collisions where people have been killed directly as a result of drink driving.
Captain Abel's result if you need it.
It's a big reality check, I think, when that door closes.
The driver's actions are confirmed by CCTV.
For continuity to show that he has been in the hotel, we've gone back up and we've seen the CCTV that they've got. So it's this one.
So this is it, yeah, because this is...
That time of day when a car's pulling into a car park, you won't know what it is, don't you?
Yeah, and then this is obviously 10 minutes later he comes in first time.
And it's obvious it's him.
Yeah. 5 minutes after that, comes back again to ask for cigs and goes back to his car and goes to sleep in back.
People just don't realise that that bit of metal that you're driving round, it can be a weapon quite easily. Just 1 or 2 drinks. You don't have to be drunk to be under the influence of drink.
Stop.
Yeah, he's been asked to provide another sample of breath from the handheld machine. He's blown 33, which is obviously under the limit of 35, so now he's eligible to be released from custody as soon as we've finished processing with him.
After 6 hours in custody, his alcohol level is low enough for him to be released.
Every day's a school day, you learn something, don't you, every day? And I think, yeah, like you say, he's learned something today, hopefully. Touch wood, won't do it again.
The drink driver, found asleep in his car, was banned from driving for 17 months and accepted a cannabis caution. No action was taken against the suspected armed robber, as the woman he allegedly threatened withdrew her complaint. The driver, who overturned his wife's car after a police pursuit, pleaded guilty to driving dangerously. He was sentenced to 8 months in prison and banned from driving for 2 years. He also admitted he threw cannabis from the car during the chase. And the suspect caught growing cannabis in Huddersfield was given a total of 2 years and 7 months imprisonment for production and supply. No action was taken against the man who was previously registered at the address.